The worst roller coaster deaths ever, bro. The Batman, the Big Dipper, the Shockwave, the Mindbender, the Big Dipper too. So somebody died on the Big Dipper. They was like, fuck it, let's make a Big Dipper too. Somebody died on the Big Dipper. The Matterhorn bobsleds, the Wild Wonder, the Derby Racer, the Rough Riders, the Gene Ride, yeah, the Son of the Beast, the Cobra, and the Chimera.
The Batman. On June 28,
I
2008,
went on the Batman.
17-year-old Asia LaShawn Ferguson visited Six Flags Over Georgia with his family and church group.
Nigga, this is in Georgia.
The Batman was an inverted roller coaster where passengers' legs dangled freely below the track. During his ride, Ferguson's hat flew off his head. After the ride ended, he wanted to retrieve it. The hat had landed in a restricted area beneath the roller coaster tracks. Warning signs marked the zone as off-limits. Ferguson climbed over two 6-foot fences to reach the area where his hat had fallen. As he searched below, another train approached on the track above him. The train was traveling at 50 miles per hour. A passenger's dangling foot struck Ferguson in the head. The impact was instant. Ferguson was decapitated.
What? Oh no, what?
Witnesses saw the collision. The train continued to the station, while Ferguson's body lay below. Six Flags temporarily closed the Batman ride. It reopened the following day. The park added security around restricted areas and more warning signs.
It reopened the following day, so they didn't give a fuck. Wow. Like, okay, I mean, I understand the signs right there. Bro, these niggas did not care. And fuck him. I bet we like, bro, what?
Ferguson's death became one of the most graphic roller
Does that count as you murdering somebody? That's a good question. The guy will live with the guilt all his life. Yeah, no,
coaster
that's a fact.
fatalities in recent years. The Big Dipper. On
The
May
Big
30th,
Dipper.
1972, a warm Tuesday afternoon in London, schools had just broken up for half-term, and Battersea Fun Fair was packed. The Big Dipper was a wooden roller coaster that had been operating since 1951. Three
Really?
cars connected by a steel cable. The cable pulled the cars up a steep incline, then gravity did the rest. Around
What?
2:30 p.m., 31 passengers climbed aboard, mostly children and teenagers. At the front rode a brakeman whose job
Don't tell me, bro. 31 children and don't tell me. That's crazy.
was to control the brakes. The train began its climb. Then the haulage rope snapped. The train hesitated at the top, then started rolling backwards. The brakeman lunged for the brake lever, but nothing happened. The brake system did not respond. The safety devices that should have stopped a rollback were missing or broken. As the train picked up speed, it hit the curve at the bottom at full speed. The wooden track couldn't handle the force. The first car jumped the rails, smashed through the barrier, and plunged 15 feet. The other two
What?
cars followed. Passengers were thrown from their seats. When the chaos ended, 5 children were dead and 13 others were seriously injured. Later, a 15-year-old girl who had survived the crash was standing on a wooden walkway when the platform collapsed beneath her feet. She fell to her death. The subsequent investigation revealed 66 safety violations. The rope was in poor condition. Most safety devices were missing or broken. Investigators also found that employees had been drinking and using drugs while working. The
Come on, son. Come on, my nigga, bro. What? Why are you? Yeah, bro. Bro, come on, bro. Why are you drinking and you on drugs, bro? And you supposed to be? Come on, like,
ride's
come
manager and engineer were later acquitted of manslaughter charges. The Big Dipper was torn down, and Battersea Fun Fair closed by 1974. Britain brought fairgrounds under safety laws following the incident. The Shockwave. On August 23, 1999, 20-year-old
That's literally a day before my birthday.
Timothy Fan visited King's Dominion with a friend. The Shockwave was a stand-up roller coaster. Passengers stood upright, secured by shoulder.
Have y'all ever been on stand-up roller coaster? But hell no. I ain't gonna lie. I can't do it. I can't do it. Bro, no. I seen the stand-up ones. Can't do it, son. I'm sorry. I can't. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I can sit down, bro. But I can't do the one that stand up, son. Can't do it.
harnesses and waist bars. Fan boarded the 6-car train. As the train climbed the lift hill and began its descent, witnesses noticed something wrong. Fan was wiggling and struggling against his restraints. He managed to work one arm free from the shoulder harness. His body began to contort sideways as the train gained speed through the course. Near the end of the ride,
You about
the
to fall
coaster
off?
entered a 180-degree curve.
What
The
type of
forces acting on Fan's body proved too powerful. He was violently ejected from the train and thrown 40 feet onto a catwalk beside the tracks. Fan died instantly from head
Oh
trauma.
my
When the train returned to the
gosh.
station, Fahn's restraints were still locked. He had deliberately worked himself free during the ride. The shockwave reopened 3 days later. The mine
Okay, well, okay, let's be honest. Was that really technically the Shockwave fault? Was that his fault? Be real. I really think about that one because it said that it was locked and that he had to wiggle himself out of there. So I mean, like,
on June 14th, 1986, the West
it's
Edmonton
still the
Mall
right fault, but how though? If you voluntarily wiggle yourself out of yourself being locked in a position that's safe for you, you're gonna be able to wiggle out even if you.
in Alberta was packed with
That's true.
visitors. The mall housed an indoor amusement
That's
park
true.
featuring the Mindbender, a triple-loop steel roller coaster. The Mindbender had 4 cars connected in a train. It reached speeds of 60 miles per hour and took passengers through 3 complete loops. The ride had passed a safety inspection the day before. That evening, Rod Chico and 3 friends climbed into the last car of the train. The train launched and completed the first 2 loops. As it entered the 3rd loop, 4 cap screws in the wheel assembly failed. The last car began to fishtail wildly. The wheel detached from the track. The car derailed completely. The lap bar restraints unlocked, ejecting all 4 passengers
Oh
30
my
feet to the concrete floor below.
gosh! Yeah,
The
dude, that's
train,
cooked.
slowed by the derailment, rolled backwards and crashed into a concrete support pillar. Rescuers found 3 passengers dead. Rod Chaco survived, but was critically injured. Both his legs were shattered, along with his ribs, shoulder, pelvis, and lower back. His
Oh
body
my
was folded in half from
gosh!
the impact. He spent months learning to walk again. The investigation found design flaws in the wheel assembly and inadequate maintenance. The cap screws had worked loose over time. The Mindbender was closed for months while engineers redesigned the system. When it reopened, anti-rollback devices were installed, seatbelts were added, and the train was reduced from 4 cars to 3. The accident became Canada's worst roller coaster disaster.
Oh, that's
The Big
crazy.
Dipper 2. On July 24th, 1930, a hot summer day in Omaha, Nebraska, Krug Park was packed with visitors. The Big Dipper was a wooden roller coaster. 4 cars
He's still on this wooden shit. Okay, it is back in the day, but wooden shit. Wooden shit. And
connected in a train. The ride pulled passengers up the first hill, then gravity did the rest. That afternoon, 23 passengers filled the 4 cars. Among them were Gladys Lundgren, C.H. Stout, Anthony Politica, and 15-year-old Ruth Frell. The train began its climb up the first hill. Then a bolt in the brake mechanism worked loose and jammed one of the wheels. The first car jumped the track.
oh
It broke
my
through the
gosh!
guardrail and plunged 35 feet to the ground.
Yeah, they're
The other
fried.
3 cars were dragged off behind it. Passengers were thrown from their seats or crushed beneath the derailed cars. The impact was devastating. 4 people were dead and 19 others were seriously injured. But the crowd of spectators had surged forward to see what happened. Thousands of people surrounded the crash site, blocking emergency access. Ambulances arrived, but couldn't reach the victims. Police were forced to break down sections of the park fence to create routes for medical.
Bro, you mean to tell me people are that nigga trying to see what's going on that they don't hear sirens behind them? Bro, what? Bro, why are you? Bro, why would you even want to see some shit like that? Bro, you already done seen the shit. Why are you going up there to see? What the fuck is going? Bro, hell no, bro. Because it's like, bro, you already done seen it already. Why are you going even closer? Knowing that people, I ain't gonna, what, literally only 4 people died, 19 people injured. Now you're blocking them boys from receiving the help that they need. They gotta find out. Now they gotta take more time to cut something inside the fence just so that they can get in. Nice.
Personnel. The investigation found that the loose bolt had caused the wheel to lock up, forcing the car off the rails. Krug Park never recovered. Attendance dropped, and the park closed by 1940.
I
The
wouldn't
city
go
of
there either.
Omaha banned roller coasters for years afterwards. The site was later converted into a public park with no rides. The Big Dipper accident became known as the deadliest roller coaster disaster in U.S. history at that time. The Matterhorn bobsleds. On
Imagine
January
you die because other people staring at you dying. It won't let. Literally, bro.
3rd, 1984, 48-year-old Dolly Young visited Disneyland with 5 friends. The Matterhorn bobsleds featured small sleds that traveled through an artificial mountain at 43 miles per hour. Young sat alone in her sled while her friends took the parallel track. The sleds began their descent through the mountain's tunnels. Partway through the ride, Young fell from her bobsled onto the tracks. An oncoming sled.
I knew it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That shit is about to rip her into two pieces. Holy shit. Imagine a death like this.
Approached on the parallel track. The family inside thought the figure on the tracks was a dummy. The bobsled struck Young at full speed. She was decapitated instantly. The father in the oncoming sled realized what had happened. He screamed at his daughters to close their eyes as their sled passed over Young's body. The ride operators shut down the attraction when Young's empty sled arrived at the station. Young was pronounced dead at the scene. Her safety restraint was found fastened on a neighboring seat. The Matterhorn reopened the next day. Disney made modifications to the ride, though the changes were not disclosed. The Wild Wonder. On August 28, 1999, Kimberly Bailey and her 8-year-old daughter Jessica visited Jillian's
Oh
Wonderland
man, bro.
Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey. The Wild Wonder was a small steel roller coaster. Individual cars were pulled up a 40-foot incline before rolling through the course. Bailey and Jessica climbed into one of the cars. As their car neared the top of the lift hill, the anti-rollback mechanism failed. The car lost contact with the lift chain and began rolling backwards down the incline. The car gained speed as it hurtled toward the station. It crashed violently into the loading area at the bottom. Bailey and Jessica were thrown from the car. Both died instantly. The park had replaced the coaster's anti-rollback device with an unapproved, locally made part. The faulty component had failed to engage. The Wild Wonder was shut down and removed. New Jersey upgraded its regulations to require manufacturer-approved parts only. The Derby Racer. In
Derby
1911,
Racer.
the Derby Racer opened at Revere Beach, Massachusetts. It featured 2 parallel tracks where trains raced against each other in a figure-8 pattern. The ride had no restraints, no speed controls, and basic wooden construction. Passengers simply held on as the trains raced around curves and hills.
Nigga, what? No restraints? What? Hell no. What? No speed controls? I ain't gonna lie. We already done seen how the wood thing goes. I ain't gonna lie, bro. We done seen that like 2 or 3 times already, bro.
Within weeks of opening, disaster struck. A man was thrown from his car during a turn and died. Later that year, the company's own treasurer was killed. He had stood up in his car to lecture passengers about safety when he was ejected from the ride. Authorities closed the coaster and demanded safety improvements. The owners installed primitive brakes and lap bars before reopening, but the deaths continued. On a busy day in 19...
And they didn't. Okay, so we got more now. We have even more. Okay. All right. All right. All right.
17, a man lost his hat during the ride. He tried to retrieve it and fell out of his...
Nigga, what? Well, hell no. Well, you know how fast I would have let that hat go? Why are we jumping and trying to catch a hat? What? Why? Why? Why are we trying to catch a hat? Nigga said nigga had a pot of gold in a hat. Hell no, bro. What?
car on a high incline. He landed on the adjacent track. The other racing
Oh,
train
he-
struck him at full speed. The wreckage told the story. The impact broke nearly every bone in his body. He died shortly after. Another passenger was thrown from the train in 1929.
They gotta close this shit down, bro. Yo, this is like 5 to 6 deaths already. They gotta close this down, bro. This ain't no good. This ain't no good, bro. They should have been closed this down already. I don't understand. Bro, is one death not enough? Bro, is one death not enough? Is one, bro? That's what I don't understand, bro. I didn't heard 2 rides that somebody have died already. They was open the next day. Nigga, what? How the fuck do you even have time to fix what was even wrong in one day? Nigga, what?
9. Despite 3 confirmed deaths and numerous injuries, the Derby Racer continued operating for 25 years. Each incident led to minor modifications, but the fundamental design remained dangerous. The ride's license was revoked and reinstated multiple times as authorities struggled with the deadly attraction. The Derby Racer finally closed in 1936 when it was replaced by a newer model. It became known as one of the most dangerous roller coasters ever built. The Rough Riders. In
Rough Riders.
1910, the Rough Riders
Yeah,
roller
this sounds
coaster
crazy.
opened at Coney Island. The ride featured an electric-powered system where the motorman controlled speed with a throttle. That first year, the train derailed on a sharp curve. 17 passengers were thrown from the track. 3 people were dead, and many others were seriously injured. Coney Island officials made minor improvements, but the ride continued operating. 5 years later, on July 27, 1915, 6 passengers boarded the Rough Riders. As the train gained speed down a steep incline, it approached a sharp turn.
It must have
The
went
motorman
down or
took the
something.
turn too fast.
Oh,
The train's wheels left the track. The car flipped on its side 30 feet in the air. Passengers were hurled into an iron railing and fell to the ground below. The damage was severe. 3 riders were killed by the fall. 2 others clung to the wrecked car until police rescued them. A woman and her son survived by hanging onto the handrail. A bystander on the ground was struck by a falling body. The Rough Riders had now killed 6 people in 5 years. The ride was shut down after the 1915 accident and dismantled within a few years. The repeated tragedies helped establish early safety regulations at Coney Island, including requirements for better braking systems and restraints. The Fujin Raijin 2. On May 5, 2007, Expoland Amusement Park in Osaka was packed with visitors for Children's Day. Fujin Raijin 2 was a stand-up roller coaster. 20
And that shit never go. Yeah. But I'm stand-up roller coasters, boy. Shit. I can't do it. I ain't gonna lie. I tried. But it's just something. Well, actually, I didn't try because it's just something about stand-up roller coasters. It just seemed like, bro, you're not supposed to. Like, I don't know how to
boarded the
like,
6-car
explain
train,
it.
including 19-year-old university student Yoshino Kogawara. The train launched and began its course. As it traveled 131 feet above the ground, passengers heard a loud crack. The second car suddenly derailed.
Oh my gosh! Imagine hearing that, bro. Imagine you up there, you on a roller coaster, right? You enjoying your time, nigga. You hear a loud ass snap. You look back, or you look in front of you. Nigga, the whole cart then derailed, bro. And the people behind them, you like, bro, we next. If they just derailed, we about to do the exact same thing. And especially if they attached, even the people that's in front of them not even safe.
The wheel axle had snapped, causing the car to tilt violently. Kogawara was thrown against the guardrail at high speed. She struck her head and was killed instantly. The derailed car dragged the rest of the train for 984 feet before stopping. 19 other passengers were injured. The investigation revealed extreme negligence. The park had skipped annual maintenance in 2007. The wheel axle had not been replaced in 15 years. Park officials had reported the axle as good condition, based only on visual inspection. The axle had cracked from metal fatigue. Proper testing would have detected the crack, but Expoland had bypassed all safety requirements. Expoland's attendance collapsed after the accident. The park briefly reopened but closed permanently in 2009 as the owners declared bankruptcy. The Son of Beast. In 2000, Kings as the owners declared bankruptcy. The Son of Beast.
Wait, what is this? Oh no. I don't even know where you start.
In 2000, Kings Island opened Son of Beast, a wooden roller coaster that reached speeds of
Boy, hell no. What?
78 miles per hour. The ride had problems from the start, with track malfunctions and rough jolting. In 2001, riders suffered broken vertebrae and a broken neck. Another passenger was hospitalized with back injuries in 2003. On July 9, 2006, 27 passengers were aboard when one train cracked a support beam while passing through the Rose Bowl section. The damaged beam caused the track to sag. When the next train hit the weakened section, the track dipped suddenly. The jolt was brutal. 27 people were rushed to hospitals with chest and neck injuries. One passenger said it felt like hitting a brick wall. The investigation found cracked and splintered wooden support beams throughout the structure. Son of Beast reopened after modifications, but another accident occurred in 2009. A passenger suffered a broken blood vessel in her head. The ride never operated again. It was demolished in
I ain't gonna lie, at least nobody died.
2012.
I'm
Son of Beast
surprised.
had become one of the most notorious failures in roller coaster history. The Cobra. In 2008, the Cobra roller coaster opened at Tivoli Friheden Amusement Park in Aarhus, Denmark. Months after opening, the front car detached.
Oh my gosh. This is another one. I can't do it. I will watch niggas do this. Bro, you know the ones, bro, that hang on the rail like this, right? And you sit down. Hell nah, I can't go. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. It's just I can't
From
do
the
it,
track.
bro.
4 young riders were injured with fractures and concussions. The park made repairs, and the Cobra continued operating. On July 14th, 2022, riders felt a jolt and heard cracking metal as the train went through its course. The rear car broke off from the track. The last row of seats detached and hung off the side of the coaster.
Oh my
A 14-year-old girl in the rear car was thrown and killed. A 13-year-old boy next to her suffered a hand injury, but survived. The train ground to a halt. Park staff evacuated the area. The girl could not be saved. The same structural flaw had now caused 2 major accidents. Tivoli Friheden dismantled the Cobra the next day, and the ride was permanently closed. The Cobra had failed twice in identical fashion over 14 years of operation. The Quimera. On September 28, 2019, visitors gathered at La Feria Chapultepec Mágico.
2019. Do we still have any like recent problems? Pretty probably. I wonder like what's been the most recent one? I wonder.
In Mexico City. Quimera was a triple-loop steel roller coaster. The aging Schwarzkopf model had a history of maintenance issues. That day, witnesses...
What year was that? I should be closer to the one that. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's sad that it takes multiple deaths over and over and over again to actually see a ride get close.
saw the last car of a train shake violently and derail on a turn near the end of the ride. The
Oh
rear car
my!
flipped upside down and detached completely. 2 riders were thrown out from 33 feet. 2 young men, ages 18 and 21, died from head injuries. 2 women were also injured when the car slammed into the structure. The investigation found that a component in the car's axle assembly had broken, causing it to detach. Mexico City authorities immediately closed La Feria Chapultepec. Investigators found multiple safety violations and revoked the park's permit. Within months, the historic amusement park was permanently shut down and dismantled.
Good.
If you enjoyed this video, subscribe for similar
Good,
ones
bro.
and feel free to drop suggestions for the
Oh
next
my
video.
God.